fresh off the release of Rogue Legacy, one of my favorite games that I've played in recent years. Now we have Full Metal Furies, which is just a great name to say. What can we expect from this game?
Well, Full Metal Furies is our take on the Brawler genre. So when Rogue Legacy came out, we had played a bunch of roguelikes, but none of them really like connected with us, so then we tried to do our own twist. And after Rogue Legacy, we wanted to make, we went to look at Brawlers, and they didn't really connect with us either, so we kind of went and saw what we could do with the genre.
So what is it like for you guys to take that approach when you're playing a certain genre of game and it doesn't quite meet your expectations, so you have to one-up it?
We're not really sure. I mean, it's just the kind of the thing that we do, and it's been a really long time since the Brawler came out. A lot of Brawlers actually have come out recently, so we're kind of getting nervous, but I still think we do something special with this game. And it's hard to explain. It's not like Rogue Legacy where it's like, oh, you can just say it's a genealogical roguelike and everybody gets it. We just did a lot of changes to the game, at the core fundamentals that we felt have become really outdated over time.
So can you tell us about some of them? Don't want to spoil too much, but can you give us a little inkling about what we can expect?
Okay, so a lot of it goes into the details. So, for example, in these type of brawlers, you get a lot of issues with hitting enemies who are a little higher, a little lower, because the game's become very linear in how the combat goes. We redesigned it entirely in the sense that enemies can attack you from all angles, from top, bottom, below, and that meant we just had to completely rehaul how hit detection works, how attacks work. In these games, usually multiplayer is more fun, and then single player gets tossed aside, or the game doesn't really work. For this game specifically, we wanted to make sure single player and multiplayer played the same, even though that's not really possible because you're playing with other people. So in single player, you pick two characters, and then you can press right trigger and instantly swap between them. And because you can do that, and because we built in this really complicated interrupt and cancel system, so what you get in a versus fighter or whatnot, it lets you chain together combos and make stuff on your own without relying on oh, this is the XXY combo, right? So if you're the fighter and the sniper, right, the fighter can jump into an enemy, which will cause them to lock, do your 3-hit combo, which will lift them up. Then you can instantly swap to the sniper because there's no delay, and then you can pull out your gun, and then you can shoot them while they're still airborne, dealing air crit damage, which is bonus damage on top of all that. And that's just if you pick two characters, you can do fighter, sniper, fighter tank, fighter engineer. They all have these inbuilt combos because they all just have these combos that they can do themselves, but then they link together in single player time.
Doesn't sound like a very easy thing to sort of build.
It
sounds like you guys have put it in the work to make sure that this all works right.
The game has been 3 years in development. It's almost done now. We built the combat system, and then you build something and you got the foundation. You're okay, that's good, and then you start building the rest of the stuff. We built the combat system, started building the other stuff, went back to the combat system, kept expanding on it, and then as the combat system expanded, the enemies expanded, and then when the enemies expand, you got to expand the combat system. The other thing is most brawlers, they're short, they're 1 to 4 hours or so, usually because that's when you kind of get tired. For this game, because things just keep growing and going and going, we're somewhere around the 20-hour mark, I think, for this game, so it's pretty long, and we keep introducing stuff till the very end. It was a giant mistake. It was too much work. It was way too much work. A lot of work.
I'm sure there will be a lot of people who are excited to get to try all these different combinations, different variations, especially when there's 20 hours at least worth of content and go through and explore and try different combos and make sure all the different characters work correctly with each other. Or you can just how many multiplayer people or how many players can you get multiplayer together?
So it's 1 to 4 players. For this game specifically, we built this really complicated scaling. So most games it's more damage, more HP. We go something different. So if you play stage 1 with 1 player and you play with 4 players, it's different enemies, different everything. Then you bring in the bosses and you bring in special enemies, and they all are different because of the amount of players that are playing. That took a lot of work too. There's a lot of work in a lot of places to make this game. So
it's safe to say you guys unleashed your fury on Full Metal Fury of game creation.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Done.
Again. Okay.
Full Metal Furies, people, get ready. Get your team ready, get your squad ready, get your fingers ready, because it's going to be busy.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.